going to talk about a number of things. We're going to talk about how you can build high converting FSBO sales funnels. And when we talk about high converting, we mean FSBO sales funnels that are going to get you more leads. And I'm sorry, if anybody doesn't like the word leads. I know that leads is not very personal when it comes to the vernacular of sales. I'm, just kind of stuck in that a little bit. So I don't mean any disrespect to the live people. Those are sales funnels that are going to give you leads and that are going to help you work the leads so that you can really, engage with those folks, build trust, build authority, and then earn the right to work with these folks. We're going to talk about ways that you can melt away home seller resistance to real estate agents. We know that a lot of real estate home sellers really don't want to work with real estate agents, and that's okay. Actually, to tell you the truth, there are more people working with agents than ever before, and we're going to talk about that too. And then we're going to talk about how to put your prospecting on autopilot. Now, I think most people who are on the call know me pretty well. I'll do a real quick down and dirty, you know who I am. My name is Fran Torsten, of course. I've been in real estate for 29 years. I started with working as a real estate agent in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania back in 1984. Prior to that, I spent 10 years in publishing. I was a newspaper writer. I was a magazine editor. I worked in Manhattan. My last job in publishing was as production editor of the Ladies' Home Journal magazine, which is a major women's magazine. I'm an educator, consultant, and author. I've got a number of books over on Amazon. I've written about homes, about real estate, and I'll have some more coming out in 2005, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, what I would like to do right now is talk a little bit about some of my background that really is going to be very, very germane to the discussion today. And you may not know a whole lot about me personally and where I come from, but I'm a Jersey girl. I am a girl from northern New Jersey, from Paramus, New Jersey. Grew up there in the 50s and 60s. This is a picture of me with my two sisters and my brother. I went to Catholic school. I was a pretty serious kid. My dad worked a couple of jobs. He worked during the day as a mailman. He worked at night as a newspaper reporter. My mom had a job as a waitress. She used to leave the house at about 4. And it was up to me and my sister pretty much to take care of the younger kids, to get dinner on the table and to get things squared away. So I was pretty serious kid. Didn't get in trouble. I read a lot. I was a good student, somewhat contemplative and very, very serious. And the seriousness is kind of interesting. I had really neat parents. I had wonderful, wonderful parents. Like I say, my mom worked real hard. She was a waitress. My dad was a writer and an editor and a newspaper reporter. I was very proud of both of them. And one of the things, again, was that I was always a very serious kid. Well, back in 1998, my mom got ill, got lung cancer. And for 16 months, I took off from real estate and I took care of my mom. And one of the things I did during that period of caregiving was really try to keep things upbeat. My mom had lung cancer. And if anybody here has had cancer or been a caregiver to a family member or loved one who has cancer, you know the importance of keeping up spirits and having a sense of humor and finding a reason to smile. And we tried to find a reason to smile. And we knew that, that there was a limited number of days that we had left together. And really, I tried really, really hard to make the most out of every day. At one point, my mom got a beautiful little card that said, try to find a reason to smile every day. And I did a lot of soul searching and found that, we when we laughed, it was really good for her. It was really a healthy thing. And I had this thing about making my mom laugh every single day. And I don't mean just a chuckle or a giggle. I mean a real deep down, loud, hearty, fun belly laugh. And we did a lot of laugh. And, she spent a lot of time in the hospital. We did lots of trips. I spent the time with her. I used to stay overnight with her. She was in for everything. Every time she had radiation, she had chemo, she had surgeries and all sorts of things. And every day we laughed, and we laughed a lot. And it was interesting one day, and it was one day kind of toward the end, she looked at me and she said, what's so funny, Frances, she said, and mind you, this is 1998. So I was born in 52. So I was, close to 50 when my mom died. And she said to me, she said, what's so funny is I had to be on my deathbed before I even knew you had a sense of humor. And I thought that was funny. I mean, I didn't really think I was that, that serious, but I think that I was. And I think that humor is something that we need to think about, that we need to infuse into our marketing, that we need to think about a lot. And so I want I just want to keep that in mind here, because we're talking about FSBOs. Real estate is a very, very serious business. We take it seriously, of course. It's a lot of responsibility. People are making very serious decisions involving lots of money. It is often the most serious financial investment they make in their lives. And then when we're working with FSBOs, we have there are other expectations about who real estate agents are and what they can expect from them that aren't always a lot of fun. But we're coming upon a new type of day here, and it's a new day for real estate agents to seize an opportunity to get beyond that, to get beyond that seriousness and introduce some lightness and levity. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So when we talk about creating a FSBO funnel blueprint, what are we talking about actually? Well, we're talking about, number one, about attracting people who are selling their homes. We're attracting people who are selling their homes. We want to build relationships with those people. We want to convert those relationships into transactional relationships and sales. And after that, we want to turn those customers, those clients, into advocates, and we want to make them referral partners. So there's a process in all of this. And that process is actually changing a lot. We have more opportunities than ever before. I speak as someone, again, who started in the business before the internet really had much to do with the way we did business, when we had a microfiche machine in our office, and the way we looked for clients and customers when we were, doing our research with newspapers and FSBO ads and the like, was we would go to a cross-reference directory and then look up people's tax records online with microfiche and blah, blah, blah. And it was not the same as it is now. We have all other kinds of opportunities. And we're going to talk about that in just a tiny bit here. A little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to keep this to an hour. I'm not going to go later than that. I respect your time. I'm going to be monitoring the chat on and off. I've got a blueprint that I'm going to be giving you and sending to you afterwards, probably tonight or early tomorrow morning. That is a copy of all of this. I'm also going to have a replay. I'm going to be giving you a free video and a free squeeze page that you can use to attract FSBOs. And then toward the end, I'm going to be giving away some prizes. I have this little real estate shop, a real estate tea shop. I have a little t-shirt business that I do on the side that's started out as a hobby that actually is a lot of fun. And so I'm going to give away several of these t-shirts toward the end of the webinar. So hang on, because I'm going to ask a question. First person who answers a question in the chat right is going to get a choice of any t-shirt in the shop. So you need to hang on to be able to do that. And then I need to get in touch with you afterwards so that I can ask you for, what size you want and for shipping information. And, and then we're going to just talk about that and have some fun. And so, this whole issue of fun is really where I want to concentrate a little bit of time right now. And as I say, we have some new opportunities. Do you have fun prospecting for FSBOs? All right. So what we're hearing is that people generally are not having fun. All right. So if you're not having fun, then guess what? The FSBOs are knowing that you're not having fun. So I want you to think about this for just a minute. When you are at any kind of an event, whether you're at a luncheon or you're at any kind of an event, right now we have the holiday parties. How does it feel when the people in the room are having fun? How does it feel when you go somewhere and people are really, really into what you are, to what they're doing, when they're smiling and they're having fun? Do you think that FSBOs think that you're having fun, or how do they feel when you're engaged with them? Are they having fun? Are they engaged? So now this is pretty much where we have the, with this new opportunity right now. So let's think about this for a second. When we engage with people, when we engage with home sellers and we engage with buyers and we're on the web, what does that look like in your world? I know that a lot of real estate agents are posting links to listings, links to open houses, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? A lot of that is just not smart. You may show some presence but it's not fun. People don't go to Facebook because they want to buy a house. People are on Facebook because they're looking at pictures of their kids. They're looking at shares from their family. And people are advertising, and they're doing, offering other types of content. But it's that content that's sharing, that's fun, that really, really counts. Now, how much of your real estate shares is fun and interesting for people? I'm not talking about just the stuff that is, how to winterize your home for the winter, blah, blah, blah. Some of that is okay. But the more fun that you have in that, the more fun you share in all of your content, the better you're going to do with sellers and buyers, and the better you're going to do on social media. It is as simple as that. That word fun, what you need to do is you need to measure your fun in every single thing you post that has to do with business. Is some of it serious? Yeah. But unless your content is weighted very, very heavily on the side of fun, you're making a big mistake. That's one of the reasons why all of these cartoons and doodle videos and animated videos are working so well right now. It's because that's what people really pick up on. That's what they want to see. They want to see things in short bites, and they want to see things that are fun. So think about that as you are, moving and engaging in social media. Let me ask you a couple of things, and let's probe just a little bit more deeply now. All right. Do you know that 88% of home sellers hire real estate agents to help them sell their homes? Do you know that? Do you know that when your prospects tell you what they want, that you can make promises aligned with their needs, but you need to know what it is they want? And do you know that NAR, the National Association of Realtors, has already done all the hard work for you? They have talked to thousands of home buyers and home sellers. They have a yearly profile of home buyers and sellers, and they know what people want. Part of what marketers in every industry learn to do is ask questions in their market to see what it is people want. What are the things that people want most? And we know, thank goodness, because NAR has done all of this work, we know the 4 things that a home seller wants most from a real estate agent. And you know what? These 4 things have not changed regardless of the market. Right? Home sellers want an agent, all right, who can help the seller market the home to prospective home buyers. That's number 1. They want to sell the home within a specific time frame. All right, you need to do market research, and the time frame needs to be spelled out, and then you need to be able to perform according to that. Okay, according to that promise. Number 3, they need help pricing the home competitively, and they need help finding a buyer for the home. Now, take a look at the language I'm using and look at the words help. All right, these words are taken directly from the NAR 2014 profile of home buyers and sellers. Sellers want help getting the job done. All right. Help getting the job done means that they're positioned and they expect to be part of that process with you. They don't want you to do it for them. They want help to get the job done. And knowing that and being able to frame that discussion in those, with those words is going to make a very, very big difference in how you relate to people when you are crafting your marketing message. Let's go through these again one more time, because exactly how they're worded is very important. Help the seller market the home to prospective home buyers. Okay, how to sell a home within a specific time frame. I need to sell a home in the next 60 days. I need to sell a home in the next 90 days. I need to sell a home in the next 6 months. Those are important words from a seller, all right? Helping them price the home competitively. Be realistic, use good data and help find a buyer for the home. So as you think about your own marketing collateral, about your own flyers, about the pieces that you use and that you write, your ads, your marketing materials, how does that align with what NAR has figured out for us? How does that align with what a seller expects and with what a seller really wants when a seller is working with a real estate agent? So what happens is you need to create marketing empathy. All right. Marketing empathy. You need to know what your sellers want. You need to know what is getting in the way of what they want, who they love, who do they hate, what do they love, and what do they hate. So how do you know these things? How do you know the answers to these things? Well, you need to do a little bit of research. You have an opportunity that you never had before. You have an amazing opportunity with social media and with research. You can go, do you know that you can go to your market right now? You can go to your market in Facebook. You can do market research, and I'll do another research, another webinar just on this, one of these, very, very soon. But you can go and you can discover what it is your people really like the best. You can see who, the demographics of the people in your town who rent. What they like the most, what pages they like, what local businesses they like, who do they like in sports. You can see an awful lot of stuff on social media to draw a picture of the people in your market so that you can craft a marketing message that is very, very good for them. You can go and you can find people directly and then find ways to connect with them. You don't have to guess, and you don't use the same script with everybody who's selling a house. In the old days, when we were looking for sellers, what we would do is we'd see, all right, and again, we just had newspapers. We didn't have the internet. I would go to the newspaper. And I remember my very, very first FSBO. It was back in 1984, and I found an ad in the newspaper. I was brand newly licensed, and my broker said, if you want to get a listing, go and see who wants to sell a house and call them. And so I did, and I remember the property address was 616 Itasca Street in Bethlehem. There was a newspaper ad, and I went to the newspaper, and then I saw the telephone number. And I went to the cross-reference directory and I found out, the name of the people so I could talk to them by name. And then I went and loaded up a microfiche and I looked and I found the tax records and I could see when they bought it. So I had a little bit of information. And when I called, I had all of that handy. And to me, that was golden because it gave me some frame of reference. But think about what it is you do now, what you can do now. You can have a telephone number and you or an address, and you can very easily find a seller, a FSBO seller on Facebook, and you can take a look at that person's page, and you may be able to get some very, very interesting information and intelligence, and you may be able to gather some remarkable intelligence on Facebook. I have a client recently who looked up a seller, a FSBO seller, on Facebook and saw a string of condolences about a departed relative, and indeed that person was selling a home because somebody had recently passed away. And when you have that kind of information, it's very, very special. You may find out that a person has just become engaged or just been married, and maybe there are two people who were married and they're selling one house because they're moving together. There's a lot of interesting kind of intelligence that you can gather on social media that will help you create a very, very personal type of script. Now, well, I won't even use the word script, but a personal outreach that is very, very relevant to a seller's needs. And this is an opportunity that didn't exist years ago. And if you're not doing that, then think about that, because the intelligence gathering apparatus on social media is absolutely remarkable. And again, to be able to create marketing pieces, know what it is that your market wants and what they expect from you. What if there's a way that you can attract more home sellers and get more listings? Now, would that be neat, right? So, and can you do that? You sure can. You can get lots more listings. And what would it mean to you if you got 10 listings a month? Maybe some of the folks on the webinar here are doing that. I know that For me, for years, I was probably, 4 to 5 transactions a month. I averaged around 44 a year. And that was about normal for me. Toward the end, I was doing a good 10 listings a month, working with FSBOs and expires, and that makes a very, very big difference. That makes a difference to your bottom line. What do you make on a single sale when you close escrow on a property? And not only that, but how many referrals do you get, every time you sell a property and do a transaction? I think back to my very, very first FSBO listing in Bethlehem, and the folks who sold that house bought another house. They were moving across town, and I had an opportunity to sell them that house. And over the years, I sold houses to 2 of their kids, and I had a number of referrals. So every new listing that you get, comes with lots of possibilities for more referrals and more sales. So here we go. And again, I'm going to come back here. We're going to talk about how to build high converting FSBO sale funnels, how to melt away that home seller resistance, and how to put your prospecting on autopilot. So let's go to number 1. How do you build a high converting sales funnel with prospects who learn to know you, love you, and trust you? Where does that start? It starts with goals. You need to have goals. You need to set them out right from the start. All right. Goals need to be in writing, and they ought to be part of your business plan. All right. They really, really need to be part of your business plan. We're coming up to 2015 right now. Do you have a business plan in writing? And what is your goal for listings and for working with FSBOs? If you haven't done that, then you need to get to it. All right. It's already December, and that's important. What is your accountability? How are you accountable? To whom are you accountable? Are you working with a broker? Do you have a team? Do you have a partner? Do you have a coach? Those are really, really important elements of goal setting and achieving your goals. All right. You're going to be working with specific vehicles to look for FSBOs. Now, how are you going to do that? All right. Are you searching on Facebook, and are you using Facebook for intelligence? Facebook is a great place to do intelligence about FSBOs. It's also a wonderful place to advertise to FSBOs. Craigslist, of course, is a phenomenal place to find FSBOs, and you can set up an alert for yourself every time a FSBO comes on the market. Zillow is amazing. Zillow and Craigslist, I don't know which one is the biggest in terms of the number of FSBOs, but they have a lot of them. And when you pick your target and you are talking to people, know the language of Craigslist, know a little bit about the community, know about Zillow. People love Zillow. Consumers love Zillow. They love it or they hate it. But they use it, whether they like it or not. They go there because they're interested. There are FSBO websites. There are websites and services like RedX and LandVoice that will deliver leads to you and names of people who are selling their homes. You may see them from signs. Or you know what, the other possibility, if you have a website and your website is optimized for FSBO traffic, for people who are looking for that kind of business, you may be able to get some business that way. And that's a really good thing to do. And that's something that you can do when you optimize with good landing pages. That becomes something you can do very, very well. How are you managing your leads? Okay. Are you using a CRM? Do you use Top Producer? That's probably the best in the business. You've got other systems like Realty Juggler and Wise Agent and other more generic CRMs that you can use with real estate as well. You need to have a really good system to manage your leads. In fact, RedX has a very good system as well. Do you have an autoresponder? Is that built into your CRM, or do you have an autoresponder that's that can deliver timed sequential messaging to people who come into your sales funnel? If you have a sales funnel and you are taking people in your sales funnel and you want to share a series of videos and messages to warm them up and and bring them along, cultivate them, then that's something that you should be thinking about and doing and putting into practice. And of course, there is a telephone, which is probably the least used with no good excuses, because it's a very, very important part of your communication arsenal. The other thing that you need to think about, all right, are the marketing channels. And these are the marketing channels that you use to contact, to get in touch with, to find new for sale by owners. And how many of these channels do you offer them to get in touch with you? All right, phone, yeah, most people have their phone number wherever they go. Do you have an email that gets to people quickly? You know, do you get back to them quickly? Do you use SMS text, and is that part of your marketing program? You know, you can set up an SMS text exchange that's automatic on autopilot. That makes it look like you're doing it personally. And that's a very, very neat marketing vehicle to use. Extremely, extremely effective. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of text message where you put a number on a sign and people text and then they get, you know, the property information. I'm talking about something where they text for you for information, and then there will be an exchange back and forth where you can actually ask probing questions automatically to determine their stage in their selling process, or if it's a buyer in a buying process, and make it look very, very natural, because we're at that level with this technology. Hopefully you have some website landing pages that are very, very specific, that address different needs of FSBOs. You know, people who are FSBOs, many of them also are expired listings. What are the things that concern people, you know, on those landing pages? They are concerned about, you know, selling a house and getting the best price. So evaluation is important. They may be concerned about home inspections. They may have lost a deal as a buyer or a seller because a home inspection pointed something out and they weren't able to come to terms with the other party. Financing is important. So all of these matters that you address as a real estate agent in the course of your business are things that you do well, that you can share information about in short messaging and videos, and you can put those on landing pages and then deliver that content over time. And you can create a series of landing pages with just those messages. QR codes. And I know that QR codes don't necessarily have the best reputation, and people don't think that they work very well, but they actually do if you use them right. And you can use them on all kinds of materials, on websites, and on all kinds of print materials, as long as you have a QR code that does one of two things. Number one, it will activate your phone, and maybe people can call you directly from a QR code. That's a great way to use it. Or number two, you bring them to a website landing page and a squeeze page where you can collect their name and address, or their email address. Surveys, great marketing channel, great way to drill down and find out what people are doing and what they're really about. Video is a great marketing channel, and mail. Excuse me. All right, the United States Postal Service, you know, mail is still something that matters a whole lot. So take a look at these marketing channels. What do they mean? You know, how many of these channels can people use to reach you, and how many of those avenues are included on your website, on a squeeze page? If people like to be able to text, and that's the way they want to get in touch with you, let them do that. And of course, you know, please be aware that there is an opportunity, you know, to make a mistake and to do something wrong, because we have certain, you know, real estate rules and regulations, and those things are very, very important. There is fair housing law, there are state rules and regs, and every state has different rules and regs. You need to be up on those. So a lot of these marketing channels are coming to people from many different directions, and a lot of the marketers who are developing this stuff don't really have a clue about that. And when you're doing this and you don't have an eye to compliance, there's a problem. So if you ever have a question about that, you know, keep an open channel to your broker at all times, and make sure you make all of the right disclosures in all of those marketing channels, including videos. I think that probably about 90 to 95% of all the real estate videos I see are not compliant with state real estate rules and regulations anywhere. Now, what are we saying when we're talking about melting away home seller resistance? Well, first of all, a lot of that resistance is, comes by way of expectation, real estate agent expectation. And people are not as resistant as they once were. Will some people resist? Of course. But 12% of sellers end up selling their houses on their own. They want to work with real estate agents. And let me tell you something else NAR found out. 71% of sellers who contacted a real estate agent ended up doing their deal with the first person they spoke with. 71%. That is amazing. 17% did business with the second person they contacted. That means almost 90% of home sellers are going to do business with the first or the second person they spoke with. What kind of resistance is that? That's resistance, all right? The resistance that we're talking about is the resistance that is in the mind, in a real estate agent's mind. Because when you consider that almost 90% of sellers are going to be doing business with the first or the second person they speak with, that is huge. All right. That means if you're the first person to call them, you have better than a 70% chance of doing business with them. If you're the second person who calls them, you have close to a 90% chance of doing that deal and helping that person sell a home. Question is, how persistent will you be? You need to hang in there, because most people don't. Don't drive without a license. And when I say that, I mean, know the channel you're communicating in. If you're on social media, don't be all business. Don't be all serious. Don't do that. It's not a good way to connect with people, because they're not there to be serious. Use native ads and marketing instruments. By native, it means something that people expect to see. All right. There's nothing more native to Facebook than animation and fun. And I'll tell you, I'm doing very little other than inspirational types of videos, than animated videos and fun videos, doodle videos. That stuff that's what Facebook is about these days, guys. You need to use marketing materials and reach out to people in a way that they're going to connect with. And when they're connecting on that kind of level and they're having that kind of fun, there's an entirely different level of expectation they have when it's time to do business with you. Okay. Use messages to solve their wants and needs. Okay. We know what home sellers want. We know the top 4 things. You may see something in their ads that spells something out. I need to sell fast. You know that the time frame needs to be quick, so that I think the house has to be priced in a way that it's going to be competitive and do the job. And make all of your messaging about them, not about you. When you're talking to them, when you're talking about the job that you're going to be doing, are you using collaborative language? Are you using we instead of I? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. This is what my company does. This is how I do this. The word I, lose the word I, use the word we, and use the word you. Make it about the seller. Speak about the seller, about the outcome the seller wants, and that's going to make the difference. You do that when you're speaking with them. You do that in your messaging. You do that in your ads. All right. You do that in all of what you do with marketing. Read their ads, get personal with them, and follow up frequently. Most sellers will list with someone, and it's typically around to the 6th or the 7th touch. It means by the 6th or the 7th time you contact them and you connect with them, they're ready to do business with you. All right. If you've got to the 6th or the 7th connection with them, it means you're getting very, very close. A lot of people who are working in the FSBO market will make one call and they will get rejected and they won't call back. Some people will make 2 calls. Some people will make 3. There aren't too many people who call often enough. So follow up frequently. If they want to, sell their house quickly, an everyday kind of an outreach is good. Having a plan where you are calling by telephone, where you have an email, where you work with mail, or dropping something off at the house is very, very important. And use humor as often as you can. and in every channel, because humor is okay, you know? And again, especially with videos. Right now, animated videos, doodle videos. This is something that's so neat. This is something that is so fantastic, and it is exploding right now. You know, those animated videos and doodle videos used to be very expensive. I remember just a couple of years ago, I was pricing them out at between about $700 and $1,000 for just a minute or two to have them created. And now they're very, very inexpensive. You have two routes you can take. You can do the done for you route where somebody creates it for you, or do it yourself. I'll share some resources with you. I'm not pitching anything on this webinar. Okay, this is all content. I will be in the near future. I'll be offering some done for you types of videos. For now, I'm not set up for that, but I do have a lot of really great stuff that I've created and templates I can share with folks. And it's very, very affordable these days. You know, doodle videos, animated videos, they convert like crazy. Again, you've got to do them right. You've got to keep them short. You've got to make them fun. And I'll share some stuff with you in just a little bit. It's very, very cool. And if anybody has any questions about that, please, send me an email. We'll get on and I'll answer some more questions at another point. How do you put your prospecting on autopilot? And I hear a lot of people say, I don't have time to prospect. Well, you don't. And when you get busy and you're working with a lot of people, you don't have a lot of time to prospect. So it is, becomes a really nice idea to make it as automatic as you can. And of course, the biggest way to make it the most automatic is to advertise and to figure out how to advertise and advertise well. Now, how do you advertise for FSBO? Well, you can advertise on Facebook. Facebook has become a very neat way to advertise. There are different types of advertising on Facebook. You can boost page posts using page post engagement, clicks to your website, video views, or you can do conversion ads where you only pay based on conversions. So if you're looking for people to sign up for for your newsletter or to get onto your subscriber list, you only pay for the conversions. Some people do the pay-per-click. They do banner ads. Retargeting is something that if you haven't looked at, if you're not doing that yet, you definitely want to look at that, because it's one of the highest converting types of ads you can do right now. You know what retargeting is? If you go to Amazon and you look at a book and then you close down Amazon, for the next 2 or 3 days, you see that book or whatever product you looked at over there keep popping up, right? It comes up in ads. It shows up where you're playing Scrabble. Any place you're going, those retargeting ads are coming up. Well, those happen to be really, really good things to do, good ads to place. They're not hard and they're very, very inexpensive. So those are kind of neat. If you are, working on the portals, if you do portal ads, let's say on Zillow, where there are lots and lots of FSBOs, you might want to consider doing an ads, strictly for FSBOs over on Zillow or a place like that. Twitter has new ads. I'll be honest, I haven't seen too many people doing those real effectively in real estate, and you can spend a lot of money on Twitter real fast if you don't know exactly what you're doing. So I haven't quite seen anybody working with that terribly effectively yet, but that's something you can look at in the future. So again, advertising is one of the ways you can put your FSBO prospecting on autopilot. Some of the other things you can do for autopilot lead capture are telephone lead capture, using autoresponder drip campaigns. Again, those SMS responses, surveys are dynamite. And I will see that you get some information about that. You can do surveys by mail. You can do surveys by telephone. You can get survey plugins for your blog. And surveys are very, very high converting instruments. When you have a survey on a page on your website, or standing on a landing page, instead of just like offering a special report, you get a phenomenal response. And then the other thing to do, again, is drill down in your list and segment your list. Have different messages for prospects than you have for people you're working with, obviously, and also different types of messaging for past clients. And what you have among prospects and clients and past clients is you have possible FSBOs and, people going to work with other people in all of those lists. So having a good list and being able to segment that and having the right messaging is important. See here, what am I using? I'm going to tell you what I've been using because I have a lot of really neat tools that are working pretty well. And I'm happy to share some information. Landing pages are really important for your business. All right. Landing pages are very, very important. Some people I know are using Market Leader. You're using Top Producer landing pages. Those are very, very cool. Two of my favorite landing pages, one is web-based, it's called One Links, and the other is called Funnel Kit, which is a WordPress plugin. I do use Lead Pages also. I'm kind of moving away from that. Lead Pages is getting very expensive for new users now. It's web-based and it has some limitations that One Links doesn't. So let me give you an example. If I create a page in One Links or I create a page in Funnel Kit, I can export that entire page with everything in it, and I can share it with you. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is sharing a landing page with you. The one I'm going to be sharing, I've created on One Links, and you can just upload it to your blog. Funnel Kit has another system that is again, it's a WordPress plugin, really easy, and it lets you work with templates. That's kind of the thing I like about it. So I actually have 10 or 12, actually there are 12 templates for real estate landing pages that I offer as a bonus because I have an affiliate relationship with the developer over at Funnel Kit. So for all of these guys that I like a lot, I like to be able to work with tools that let me create collateral materials to make your job easier. So, and at any rate, those are definitely worth looking at. Video tools. Wow, this is getting really interesting. This whole video. So let me tell you some of my favorite video tools and what I like, and maybe what I don't like, and where we're headed. Okay, probably the best of class for video creation for doodle videos is Video Scribe. And Video Scribe is great. It does some great stuff. You see a really great example. If you go to Google or YouTube and you Google for Robert Cialdini, on the Art of Persuasion, he talks about persuasion and influence. He has a doodle video there. It's about 11 minutes long. And I think that was done in Video Scribe. That is just phenomenal. It's just doodle though, so you can't do anything else. Powtoons is an animated / doodle video platform, and that's also very, very cool. They're nice. They're both very, very good. Video Scribe and Powtoons are both. They were both pioneers. They're both monthly, and they're a little bit pricey, all right? We've seen some other things happen this year that were very exciting. Video Maker FX came out earlier this year, made a lot, there was a lot of hullabaloo, and that kind of just brought things to a whole new level for a lot of people. However, the developer kind of fell off the face of the earth and really hasn't developed it any further. So it's still a very, very good tool. There are still some really neat things you can do with it, but we've moved beyond that. Easy Sketch Pro is a really neat doodle platform. It's very, very neat, and that's there's a developer there who's doing a real good job with it, but it's just doodle videos. So there's another one, and this is relatively new. It's called Explaindio, and Explaindio has both doodle videos and animated videos. And the neat thing about Explaindio is that you can actually share videos and share templates. So this is something phenomenal. This is something I was hoping I could do with Video Maker FX some time ago, but it wasn't possible. So Explaindio lets you create an animated video and a doodle video in the same video, and it lets you work with somebody else's template if they share it, so that you can essentially just customize it for yourself and have it. And what I have done is I've created about it's about 10 at least templates for Explaindio that you can take and and customize your own video inside of 2 or 3 minutes, and then just add your name and contact information and anything else you want. But there are video backgrounds in there and all kinds of things, and I'll give you a link and you can check it out. If you're not using it already, then you need to do that, because that is very, very cool, and it's very neat. The other way of creating videos actually is with PowerPoint. And if you didn't know, you can create videos with PowerPoint. I'm not sure you can do it with versions prior to 2010. I use the most current version of PowerPoint, and if you're going to do this, you're better off working with the most current. And there is a series of tools at Video Presenter. And again, I'll share the links with you that are quite neat. The developer over there has lots of templates in real estate and other industries, and male presenters and female presenters. And I'm actually creating videos and using those assets and explain to you. So I'm happy to share what I can there. And again, this is something that is just a whole lot of fun and helps you, create that fun aspect in your business beyond what you can do anywhere else. Again, video players, if you're working with a blog and or you're managing videos elsewhere, there's really only one that I think is any good anymore. A video player called Simple Video Pro that lets you embed links in your video. It lets you collect opt-in leads in your video, and it does a whole bunch of other stuff. So again, if you're going to be engaging and people are interested in meeting you, then that's something that's neat to do.